Wolf, and today we're going live with Infinite Ma from Inner Flight Harmonics. We're
Hi.
going to be we're going to be going over her birth chart and just whatever flows in the meantime. So sit back, listen, relax. If you have any questions, go ahead and drop them in the chat as we go. If we don't get to them right away, I will scroll down and we will get to your messages soon. So I'm going to hand it over to Infinite Ma. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, thank you, Johnny, for this opportunity. I always enjoy our conversation on live. And I am Infinite Ma Valentina. I work with sound, resonance, light, and color and frequency, and also scalar wave energy, which is creating within us. We are scalar wave energy. And it's been a minute for me since 2016. We've been providing services for community as a sound healers, practitioners, and whole another area, Reiki, and I'm working with the violet ray, Tesla technology, which is UV, concentrated UV light, and infrared light, which is regenerative for our bones, very important. Red infrared light for the bones, teeth, and eyesight as well. And we, through this period of time, we got great feedbacks, from sound alignment and work we do. People who's not fertile, they having kids aligning. So a lot of times we blocking ourselves with our beliefs for what we want, and by habitual we create that dome of consciousness, and only frequency can break that, because frequency is a matter, it goes through the matter. So, and then they kind of don't have that for a moment, and coming up from deep trance, they can have strong insights what they actually have to do in order to achieve that and that and that. So the connection with your quantum self, with your higher self and supreme consciousness, become aligned or realign after that. And people turn around and have a different life, totally pivot their life 180 and become healers themselves, and helping people because it help them too, and they want to share that. And it's very natural, for the human being to share what's good, what's in your cup, overflowing cup.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it sounds so you're a miracle worker. She
Well,
does too. I know the infrared you did for my neck. It helped a lot. It was
yes,
really interesting.
if you like more, it's here for you. So, and I would give you a demonstration of UV light, which is 50,000 amp, coming out from the Tesla technology transmitter.
Yeah.
And it's concentrated in a glass tube. So it's actually nutrient of oxygen, which goes right straight to you and regenerate. So reignite your cells to start being vital, not dormant. You see?
Yeah.
And where blood wasn't going through, blood starts circulating.
Oh, okay.
A lot of people like me, I have a cold hands, cold feet. It means no circulation there, right? And we all have kind of poor circulation because of the way humanity lives in the cities and away from nature.
Yeah.
So what UV light is helping to not only take away the pain, but decalcify your fascia and start reignite your cell to start regenerating. So it's quantum tool, but in all modalities, what my suggestion is, the knowledge is good,
Yes.
but important to dedication. Dedication, devotion, and a discipline to able to bring it and apply your intelligence intelligently every day. And then at the end, there is no end. However, you look back sometimes, like me, I look back 10 years and I'm like, oh my God, I didn't realize by putting this five sacred rites yoga 15 minutes daily,
Yeah.
it's gonna it's gonna help me with my way I look. You know, I don't have to spend 2 hours in the gym. I don't have to do 3 hours yoga. You know, I just do it proper, five sacred rites, and whatever is my intuition tells me, which is communication with your body, intelligence, right? And do simple honoring of my my bodies, which is 7 bodies we have, right? So
Yeah.
it's all about tending your garden the
Yeah.
proper way.
Tending your garden. It's funny you mentioned about the knowledge and discipline, because that's like the first impressions and identity. So I know you are a Libra, right? But you are more Capricorn like in your identity. So, because your ascendant and rising is in Capricorn, that's your first impression, and it's in Shravana Nakshatra. So, this tells me that you're someone who listens to and communicates knowledge for a living. And as we go through a little further, this is going to make a lot of sense in activities that you might struggle with. You might challenge against certain things because you've got to feed that knowledge within you to actually feel fulfilled.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, I feel that. Yeah, yeah. I have to share my knowledge to
yeah,
feel fulfilled.
yeah,
And but because it's not very like common, it's a little bit advanced. That's why it needs to be proper platform
yeah,
for
yeah.
that.
Well, that's typical Capricorn traits. So
Mhm.
Capricorn is all about building that stability, the security, making sure that everything goes structured and organized. So that's a lot to do with you. And on your descent, the first thing I look at in a birth chart is the crosses, right? Because they say Jesus died on a cross, right? Well, really, it's the understanding of the cross of the zodiac, the whole zodiac. I use astrology in different ways. I use them for magical practices and kind of divination and reading the earth, right? What the earth is going to experience. But it's really good to help identify our inner self, because a lot of times people fight against their true nature and they don't even realize it. And I go off of West or sidereal astrology, which is actually what's in the sky. So, Western astrology, you can find similarities when you get a reading, but it's always a little bit off. And that's because Western astrology is 24 degrees off chart of what's in the sky. So,
Mhm.
when we look through a telescope, like let's say if we were looking through a telescope to find Jupiter, right? And then we looked at Western astrology, Jupiter's going to be 24 degrees behind where Western astrology tells it. So I like to look at it as in sidereal astrology brings us back into that alignment with what's in the sky. So
Mhm.
when I was looking at your crosshairs, first I did your ascendant, your first house, your rising. And that's where we find your knowledge and communicating knowledge. But then right across the zodiac from that, your descendant is in the seventh house of Cancer, right? So this is who you're attracted to. This is what attracts you, not only in relationships, but in business as well. And you're attracted to people, both romantically and in business, who are intuitive and have a powerful voice when speaking of spiritual matters. Does that make sense to you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
Very
then
much
we
so.
go ahead. Go ahead and elaborate on that.
Um, that is exactly my attraction. Is not only um, because spirituality and this is important to connect that and to be whole. That's and a lot of people um, don't even go to their potential. And when you feel all this potential, like, how come this individual is not that and not aligned,
Yeah.
because it takes a little work to align to that. You see, it's you have to sort of speak experience, go against the grain, and then like, oh, okay, then redirect. If I go what's within me naturally, then everything and around it is gonna support that.
Yeah.
And that's why career change. That's why in life we change completely course, redirection, and of course, being in service is privilege, and people who really receive that and reciprocating that, it's really works for them and for myself. So it does not work singularly. It works for collective at same time as for individual who's present and for me as well. We all go in this portal um, of staying still, right? And really merging with our blueprint. What is blueprint? It's your primal code,
Yeah.
what we all share, universal code, right? Uh,
Yeah.
and so only when you in the blueprint you can kind of know what your essence is, what's your purpose. I know everybody's looking for their purpose, but if they would sit and just be in the silence,
Right.
that is purpose.
That's the purpose.
That's the purpose, to
That.
breathe and be in the future. So yeah, I resonate a lot. I really love deep conversations and understanding and shifting in and more like advocate for body intelligence, because body intelligence are silent, but it's work on the sensory. And that's where when you activate your sensory through the elements, you interpret reality completely differently than just linear with your mind.
Yeah.
If it's
Yeah, that makes sense. And a lot of what you said kind of rolls right into where your um, inner compass and your master chart are. Your master chart is what's above in the sky when you were born. And I want to ask you before I start reading it, do you ever, this is your public life, and your public life is surrounded by social, you're really into integrating a social life with friends and wishes, but does that ever lead to struggles with community or fascination with friends, like on a romantic level, hidden desires? Because you've got Neptune and Lilith in your master chart in Scorpio under the 11th house. So that's all about your public image, and you really joyful, you enjoy having a large group of friends, but does it ever get hard to struggle with keeping your desires separate from the friendships?
so I'm very social in the first part of my life, but then the time came when I learned how to be introvert and more hermit, hibernation. I really enjoy that too,
Yeah,
but I enjoy that so much that I kind of then all of a sudden like, where's everybody? you know so I
yeah,
kind of, wow, I need to bridge it in, because I was kind of accumulating the knowledge. It's just for myself, not really would never thought in a million years I'm gonna do what I'm doing right now, honestly. Oh, it's doesn't look good. No. Is it good? Can you
Yeah,
see me? Yeah.
yeah,
On my live, it doesn't look good. Oh, maybe bad signal, Lucas.
yeah. Oh, on Lucas's, it doesn't look good.
Yeah, he says doesn't look good. Yeah.
Oh,
For Ray Wolf, but it doesn't look good. It looks good for you, but not for me for some reason.
huh.
You are you seeing me good?
Yeah, yeah. I can see you clear
Yeah.
colors and everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
Looks good. All right.
So
I just got
uh,
off track now.
I think in what you asking if it's interfere, and yes, it does because um, when I socializing, I would like to have no limits where I can go,
Yeah,
right? And if this is too much for individual, then it's like it's a little bit not frequency, and I get bored, on a shallow topic, so I rather not engage with,
yeah,
you know what I mean.
yeah,
So I'm very selective who I am communicating with, and it's not because it's just the interest, right? How deep you can go and talk, and usually people don't like deep, and it's all comes to the vulnerability. It's hard
exactly.
for the and it's not nobody's fault. It's just hard for people to be vulnerable
Yeah,
in this world, and I understand because it's a lot of trust issues, and abandonment issues and stuff like that. But for me, being authentic is very important for me and me. You
yeah,
see, nobody else. It's me and me, and because otherwise you juggle in a lot of energies, right? And it's tiring.
yeah,
I All my intent is to I don't even when I socialize, I don't think it just goes through me, the energy, and I say exactly what needs to be said.
mm,
Maybe I answer sometimes, perhaps subliminal questions people have.
yeah.
Sure. It's just because my sensory is very activated, and I am more a feeler. You see.
So let me ask you: have you ever felt oppressed in your life when it came to, because this Lilith and Neptune and Scorpio has a like a feeling of being trapped, like you can't be open with your friends from some outside influence. Did your parents ever, were your parents like give you a hard time about your friends? Relationships always had restrictions around friends, things
No,
like that. Do you ever feel limited besides what we were talking about? Because you are someone that faces oppression. With your Lilith in this placement, you face your oppression and liberate yourself from it openly so that everyone can see. And that's where sometimes going that deep with others, that it can create like an attraction draw if you go too deep with them. So does
mm-hmm,
that make sense?
mm-hmm.
And
The
that is
bond.
kind of, that's
Yeah.
kind of directly in, where were we? That's kind of directly in how your roots show devotion to faith and God. So, what you just said actually described your IC and MC. Your roots are very deeply spiritual, very sensual, and you strive after anything you desire with your embolic or inner compass, the IC on your chart, being in Rohini in the fifth house. The fifth house is all about, going after your desires, and your placement here, you're kind of rooted in desire based impulses. Does that
Hmm.
resonate?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very ambitious, and but not lately, though. I'm really changing now after the rebirth and kind of identity falling off, and
Yeah.
don't really want to be attached any longer to too much to any particular way. any particular where I was before.
Yeah.
And I'm on a discovery right now of my beingness, and of course freedom. What happens when you're attached to identities? You become self-prisoned, and I don't want to do that. I don't need another golden gate for me. And
Yeah.
what I love, I spark the vision, and I go after doing steps. That vision happens. That's it. I'm done. What's next?
Yeah. Yeah.
I want to be free. And but everything is my motivation, my intention, my kind of thoughts aligning to the being in service, uh, to myself, to my close ones, and to the field and the collective.
Okay. So that
Anyway,
kind of that kind of leads right into your fortune and your south node. So with fortune in your sixth house of Gemini, this is saying that you would do well in a career that involves researching spiritual things, spiritual intelligence, and then writing about it. So this matched with public speaking is where you would be fortunate in life. So do you practice some of that? Do you ever like research things just to speak them in public places?
um, so I love researches,
Mhm.
and I've been doing through my life. Like for example, the spiritual one, it's like always on. It's never, and connect the dots. Not only like because I come in from different country, right, and we have totally different societies and different roots, right, but still connecting the dots, something in universal, and it's wholeness is presence everywhere, you see.
Yeah.
And about public speaking, because I was born, or maybe not, super shy. And oh, actually, I remember in my childhood that yes, I've been oppressed by my aunt not to speak because I was more mature. I came as an old soul, but in Russia, you're going to eat in a kids' table. You're not allowed in a grown-ups area, and even talk to in the grown-ups circle. You're
Yeah.
you, you were not. So she always kind of shut me down. And yes, I guess I have that in subliminal somewhere deep, that shyness, that don't uh, like oh, you have nothing to say, you know what I mean, like oppressing. Yeah,
Yeah.
and first one who told me about public speaking, Dr. Job. He said you're very strong at that, and I realized, I do love it, but I'm shy. I do not want the attention,
Yeah.
but because I wanted to bring awareness, I have to break that fear. And I'm grateful to you because my most fear is screen, right?
Yeah.
Mm, I've been wanting to do YouTube, pursue YouTube for a long time, but I still cannot get over the fact that it's just a screen. And I
Mm.
love to talk alive with people, and uh, be, become aware, and as I'm talking to myself, remind myself. And sometimes I need to record because I don't remember. I'm
Yeah.
so in the flow that I don't think. It doesn't go through my mind. It goes through my heart and through my gut.
Yeah.
You
You
see?
know, you're not alone in that uncomfortability with the screen, right? Like it's basically our generation is different than the kids where our kids they lived on the screen, so they're so fluent with it. But that is one of the biggest things that will change your life on your chart. That fear of being oppressed about your intelligence and your research and how you present it to people is the biggest gift that you have. So I'll tell you, okay, when I first started YouTube, right? I had I had like teeth missing in my front because I was I was a roughneck. I had a bad life. I had a lot of teeth missing. I was really overweight. I was like 340 pounds. But
Ah.
some guy, yeah, me and some guy got in a competition, and I was very egoic back then, right? So I'm like, oh, I'm gonna show you. And I thanked him years later, but at first we were just like battling through YouTube, and it helped me get the confidence. And then a year later, he tells me, he's like, that's kind of why I was pushing you. So anything that can motivate you to open your dialogue and get more comfortable with yourself, especially with what you believe to be character flaws. If you have an insecurity, you want to open up about it. You want to talk publicly about it. Like, this really makes me insecure, rather than holding it in, because you're blocking your finances. You're
Mm,
really blocking your finances in this way. Your chart wants you to elaborate
mm.
and do it publicly. That leads us into, yeah, here we go. You just explained this, but I'll explain more. Your Lilith in the 11th house, it talks about you feeling oppressed from pursuing a life you really desire because you are highly sensitive to the hidden dynamics in your social circle. What that means is like you spot the flaws in people, and you spot the what's that word, hypocrisy, where they're not what they appear to be. So this is something, rather than let it be uh, kind of a fear or an insecurity of yours, use that as motivation. You have a way of speaking that'll be gentle enough to be like, hey, you don't resonate with that. I know you're saying this, so this could help you in creating a dynamic. Maybe write a book or write down your scripts and then practice speaking them publicly. Or, like I used to like to do, when I was younger, I was a youth pastor for a church called Victory Outreach.
Oh.
Um, and when I'd get up on the stage and I would talk to people, I would look, and I'm really good at locating those oddities and the hypocrisies and things. And I would look, and rather than say, and you right there, I would say, once upon a time, Tweety Bird, and he didn't do this, but he said this, and it just didn't fit right. So Tweety had to find their life. So if you can decorate it, without pointing,
Metaphorically. Mm,
yeah, yeah, make it poetically. That would be something, because Lilith is all about rebelling against your oppression.
mm,
And most people, I know there's a lot of fear in the spiritual community around Lilith, right? Because she's the wife of Samael, blah, 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 all the myths, right? But the truth is, it's always been about astrology. All of these religious books, the Torah, because that's where you'll find information about Lilith, in the Torah. The Torah, the Bible, the Vedas, the everything has been based off of astrology. And it represents, I'll tell you the story. Lilith was more dominant than Adam. She was the first wife of Adam. So the gods did not like that she was more dominant than Adam, so they locked her away in a cave outside of the village. She was not allowed to leave the cave, and two guards were there to guard him, one of them being Samael, the left hand of God. Samael and Lilith fell in love, and they made thousands of babies a day because the gods kept killing them. So your whole role in this chart with Lilith is to fight against everything that you feel insecure by just wording it, speaking it publicly. So
uh,
that's,
thank you. It's
of
very.
course. And I'm going to give you, there's still a lot more, but I'm going to give you this copies as well. So how does that make you feel hearing that? Like,
It's more clarity,
Yeah.
clarity. Everything what I went through, and especially I went through the Lilith shadow self,
Mm.
and it was like uh, insights was telling me this is the Lilith shadows, but the way you put it, it more clarity, you
Yeah.
know. So it's not constant battle. It's just and I felt that pressure, everything to kick me in the rear to really start being, you know, talk about what I love, what
Yeah.
I know, and what comes through, and it's not what I know, it's just what's I encoded in my DNA and want to share. And it's all about uh, I am a huge advocate of biology, and how I understand how our body works, how it's affecting each other, and how it's just because communication. We all have to have this language, our specific language, communicating with ourselves on the level of senses and signals and inputs, and how to properly integrate that and apply into reality,
Yeah.
and properly cultivate the light in the light body, right?
Yeah.
And gives energy, balance hormones, the glands, house it to blood is very important. How to multiply the blood, right?
Yeah.
Which is eating beets. That's multiplied in your body, like so making those salads and stuff. What I prepare for me because my blood cells are dropping, and we have a lot of man-made radiation everywhere, in Kiev, Chernobyl when I was 13, and here in Nevada, in Las Vegas, as we
Mhm.
all know, it's a lot of radiation. So I'm familiar with that state, how my body feels and what it needs to basically keep it up with the Joneses, being healthy and vital and dynamic in
Yeah.
such harsh, weather or nature we experience in here.
Well, and also like Cheryl put in the comments, Don Jose, the Don Miguel Ruiz's son from the Four Agreements.
Hmm. Hmm.
We went and saw him the other day, and he was signing autographs. And when he was signing, I noticed he was just trembling.
Uh-huh.
His son was trembling because he was nervous that he was going to speak. I could read that. But when he got up to speak, it just flowed. And you would never have known. Had I not seen him like shaking, I would have never known that he was nervous. And it's something like every time I go on a live stream, it's just something that with time you get more adjusted to it. And right here, I have where your core wounds come from. Your Chiron was retrograde when you were born, and it was in Pisces under the third house.
Mm.
This indicates that you have insecurities and core wounds around being misunderstood, or, like we were talking about, feeling inadequate for your intelligence
Mm.
because you communicate more intuitively and based off of empathic feelings rather than from logic and reason. So, to heal this inferiority complex, work on learning one thing at a time until you master that area of expertise. Then help others who have the same insecurity you did from your experience overcoming that fear. So, one thing that I used to do to get over the fear of talking publicly, well, I mean, as a kid, I talked publicly because you're a kid, right? Who cares? But then throughout my life, I went through some things that really rocked me to the core. And I had to relearn how to study publicly or speak publicly. I would get one book, like let's just say you grab this book, right? And just like your son, Lucas, read one chapter, do a
Hmm.
little chapter review, put your intuitive, what you learn from that, and this will heal that core. Then share it on a video. I mean, you never know what people are interested in. And the way your charts aligned, you know how we were talking about, once you start going in those steps, the universe just opens up. So imagine all of a sudden you start reading a book, then at the end of each chapter, you do a 10 minute talk on YouTube about it. And then all of a sudden, everything starts opening opportunities. Like, hey, are you free to do this talk here? Do you want to teach this class here, or can we go over this together? We'll pay you. That's what's that's how you heal this core wound. That's your chiron.
Indeed, I felt that, and I was just stubborn, because the communistic regime, is like uh, a little bit, I don't know, yeah, in the childhood. You're absolutely right. Because I forgot all about it. Maybe that's why I was running away from it, to America.
Yeah, that
You
could be. We never realize how the smallest things when we were young, and maybe that aunt suppressed or oppressed you because she knew you had a lot to say. And maybe she deep inside had her own insecurities about speaking publicly. She might have been, was her husband nice to her, or did they fight a lot, or
she was dominant in the relationship.
oh,
Yeah.
oh, okay. Wow. Yeah, so then that was just her tyrannical energy.
Yeah,
That's
dominant. Yeah. I think I had a little bit of that dominance in the beginning, because rebel spirit and extreme weather, Russia. I
yeah.
remember first day we came to America, and my first day at work, uh, I had to smile. And in Russia, we only smile for a reason. In here, you have to smile. My
Ah,
jaw was hurting me next day, and I was laughing because this is, new, everything new country, new job, and
yeah.
yeah, it's
That's funny you say that. Like America is like everybody smile. I remember growing up when I hung out with rebels too. Like everybody had to be a tough guy, and we don't smile and we don't. And I remember when I first started to break away from them, smiling hurt.
yes,
You're right. It does hurt. You're like, oh my god, my jaw. What is ah?
but
That's funny.
I had an amazing experience, and in service and communicative, and my English came online faster, and my base word base got expand. So I really appreciate that my job, um, service, and meeting so many different people. I really loved it, and learning about that American dream first, and then when I awaken, and then learning other side of that,
Right.
everything in between. So it's
Yeah.
very rich experience, and I am glad that it happened right there on Las Vegas Boulevard. And for 26 years, been you know planting the energy seeds in
Yeah.
Las Vegas Boulevard.
What
But
what did you do on in Las Vegas Boulevard?
I work casino business.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
so customer service, and I remember myself when I really wanted, because we came to America with big ambitions, right? Dreams, and entrepreneurial, and business. So that was calling us, and I remember I really wanted to quit, and oh my god, we work on so many projects, from small to big, huge multi-million dollar businesses, like a show, producing the show and stuff like that. And nothing, not at the end, nothing checked out. And one of the my psilocybin trip, I was coming down and receiving messages, and they showed me that I have a contract there to work because of my past lives and what I did before. And I realized then, for example, if you're in the Egypt and you're some kind of king, right? People serve
Yeah.
you. So in life in karma, it's always then you're gonna be in life where you serving people. You see, so this is you have to go through all the roles, right, to enrich your data in your DNA. So that's how I was thinking. And
Yeah.
so they showed me that I had a contract and service, and for some reason this 26 years correlates with the 26,000 years of yuga of this Mayan calendar, right,
Yeah.
cycle. So it was interesting. And when COVID hit, they laid me off, and my insight, like, everybody says spirit guys, but insights said, is it enough allowed signal for you, Valentina?
Yeah.
To your contract is over with this work I did. And because I could not quit, I could not switch to anything. I tried to, but nothing works. And I was like, why is that? Why is that? It's like I noticed it was, nope, nope, nope. You have to
Yeah.
be here. And when I released that, and then, COVID came, and I realized that I'm done with corporate world because it's a health hazard, and my spiritual work already was fully going on. So I wanted to put all my energy and all my days into deepen that in that area, which requires rest, a lot of rest, a lot of being in nature, and you can really go to matrix back and forth. It's just after 5 years, it's been really hard to do that.
Well, that rolls right into the vertex in your eighth house. This is talking about fated occurrences in your life. And it was in your eighth house of Leo. So, vertex in your eighth house of Leo means that you were fated to go through all of these deaths and rebirths because you're meant to learn the ability to influence others in a sweet, less competitive way. But
Mhm.
there is a shadow side of vanity. So one thing is the more you start, like when your ego starts to fluff up, you'll have to remind yourself, wait a minute. So vanity and indulgence are the only shadow sides to this. They'll test you every time you begin to get comfortable with influencing others. So, practicing humility is actually your superpower. But all of these tragedies that you've had to go through, changes, coming to America, learning that it's not all about I know that I've spoken with a lot of people overseas, and they hear these grand stories of America, and then they get here and they're like, where's the gold? Yeah. So all of that was meant because they say you can't really influence others unless you've been broken, unless you've fallen, gotten back up, been through a lot of changes in your life. And personally, I believe that's because when you go through so many changes in life, you become very mature. It's not so much the wisdom or intelligence, but you're able to sit calmly and see people. And that's one of the experiences. You were fated to go through all of that, especially in the publics, because you will be in the public. You're destined to be there. Leading into the 10th house, this is where your Libra is. Your 10th house is actually what you go by. You go by as a Libra, right?
Yes, but as you notice, I'm more on the cusp. It's
Yeah.
Japan. I believe they have that special cusp people, which is 19, 20, 21. You know that cusp.
Yeah.
3 days.
Well,
Hmm.
in Zodiacal, you're closer to Libra and Virgo, and you're riding right on the nakshatra of. It's taking a minute. Okay. I don't know why you're in Chitra Nakshatra. So this is really where your career focus starts to come in play on your birth chart. Your strong ambitions, you have deep desires to be a public person. You just need to place those desires in areas as diplomacy, such as law or mediation or public relations, especially after your 30s. So now is your time to like start picking this up. You have an ability to lead others with charisma and fairness. So as we get here, we start looking at your Libra. We've got Mercury in Libra trining the moon in the second house. You have very strong communication skills that create a stable and influential persona. You're able to express yourself freely in public and professional settings while staying grounded in your personal beliefs and values. So these are your superpowers. So I know you focus a lot on spirituality, right? But try to integrate some things like law or mediation, or what was the other one? Or public affairs. And if you picked some of those things, like sociology would be a really good outfit for you to, if you wanted to go back to school to study something, because it's really sociology. You can take spiritual practices, psychological teachings, magic and the occult, and see it in society. It's really trippy. It's how the world is influenced, basically, is what sociology comes down to.
Mm, interesting. Social.
Yeah.
Never heard of it. So, sociality.
Yeah, I'll send you. Well, I'm gonna give you this whole thing too, but I'll send you some links as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, what do you think about that? Like, does that fit? Does that resonate more?
Totally. I think I'm overdue. Um, Especially, I felt that when all doors open, I was like a little bit. Uh, I didn't jump in. I was like staying still because I wanted to select proper direction, because what I wanted in the past, it's not really what I wanted right now.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
I was exploring. It's like you explore in one room in the house, right? You don't even realize that you have another room in the house.
yeah,
You see, and then yeah, at the same time when you explore in the second floor, you don't realize it's infinite floors.
right?
And I did dive in the law and common law and institution is super interesting. And I'm like that. I get ignited, and that's it. I have to know everything, not just mainstream, and
Yeah,
guess what, it start coming into me, the inputs. Then later on, I don't need a teacher. I'm like, I have this intuition now. It tells me, oh, check this, check this, check this. And but because it's a very controversial, right now topic, especially, it's kind of a lot of things not honored in our matrix. It's kind of backwards, but I'm glad I learned it. I'm glad I learned it because I know exactly where's this law. Because as a sovereign being, that's what I said to myself. I have to be aware of on all kinds. You have to be a lawyer. You have to be a attorney. You have to be a prosecutor. You have to be in spiritual. You have to be in all aspects. To navigate your system, you have to know a lot, and I don't know a lot. And But the what is when I tell people, it's change your cycle from pain and pleasure to learning and pleasure.
yeah,
So
exactly.
learning brings me pleasure and research, and most I focus on investigations because I want to investigate things and try it on me, and then give my own filtered opinion, like interpretation.
So, since you're talking about integration, Your Jupiter in Sagittarius in the 12th house, secrets, right? Jupiter's expansion, Sagittarius is deep philosophies, 12th house is secrets, and Mula Nakshatra is about cutting down and getting right to the core of things. You'd be a great psychological counselor, like a psychiatrist or psychoanalyst, actually. So let me see this. Because you can dive deep into the subconscious and find core matters. So if you focused all that intelligence that you have from law and all these different directions towards a spiritual or philosophical pursuit in the direction, oh, this is the direction you need to go towards. Like you can start, okay? Basically, what all that boils down to is if you were to sit with somebody, and let's say, like we're doing right now, doing a podcast, and you just start intuitively talking with them and you open up like, hey Johnny, did this ever happen in your life, and blah blah blah. These are ways that can help advance your career. You don't have to be a therapist to start working with other people.
Mm-hmm.
That's what shamans do. We sit with them, we understand them, we hear, and you hear everything. Then you got to give that pause sometimes when you hear everyone's downloads. I call them downloads because uploads lift you up and downloads, they weigh you down, right? So you hear everybody's messages, then you go off and you contemplate it, finding the philosophies that you can understand, and you come back to them. Have you done any work like that with people?
Yes, yes, I do one-on-one sessions, and I don't advertise that much, but people find me some way, uh, energetically, and absolutely, they come with their already beliefs, and one word. What's like, as a shaman, we see, right, and we're like, oh, wait, this is like, for example, one individual says, and I felt gloom and doom. I said, first of all, gloom and doom is not permanent.
Yeah.
This is just a belief. And the second of all, as you know, our body ability to regenerate, and we can, it's nothing fixed. We are plasmic beings, so it's nothing fixed. And I see right away relief in that individual
Right.
because it's resonate within her deeply, and it's the body respond to that truth, and
Yeah.
we, oof,
Sometimes that's all it takes.
yeah, it takes milliseconds, sometimes to,
Even bringing the awareness, like something that just comes to your awareness, can actually be the remedy and the healing, the cure. It could be done. Like we were talking about beforehand, about people who get stuck in healing loops where
hmm,
they're constantly healing because I don't know why. You know,
because
it's
you don't
because,
want to clean the wound. You got to clean the wound, right? It's painful,
or
right?
they're going to the wrong doctor. They're going to the wrong doctor. The doctor's like, oh, you got 6 months left to live, but I don't have any money for the bill. Oh, you got another 6 months. You know, the wrong doc, because the right doctor can go, you know what? Here's the thorn. And just from that can change somebody's life dramatically. Like
Yeah.
send people walking different paths, dressing different, living a whole new life. All it takes is someone to actually find the truth and help them. That awareness can, you have that ability. That's what your, that's all of your chart leads to this is your destiny. And we still got 1, 2, 3, 4 and a half pages to go.
I wish we could have done it way before, but the alignment is perfect because I had to go through my shadows and my, maybe not mine, my mom lineage patterns to reprogram it.
Yeah. Let me see. Let's see where those you just said about your mom's, your need for emotional independence and desire for deep passionate relationship. Overly dependent. Now, let me ask you this. It says here on your chart that you have an intense and faded life path marked by passionate relationships, deep emotional connections, and need for powerful, dramatic love. But the tension between your need for emotional independence and your desire for deep, passionate relationships, do you end up attracting partners who are overly dependent on you or challenging you through your shared finances? Like there's always a tension because it's too deep. And does that make you take financial risks that would tear your relationships apart?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
How did, okay, let's see what the remedy for that is.
That masculinity, you know, that we all women from another side, we've been masculine too way long, you know,
Yeah.
and too far long. And so what happens, because we had to pick up the slack, right? You know,
Mhm.
we didn't have time. When you have kids, you don't have time to
No.
other partner to, no, you're just doing it, right? And everybody's doing the best what they could in this you know, hamster wheel.
Yeah.
So stop working. It took me 4 years to unwind all that. You see, I didn't realize, like, you're still not yourself, you know, you're still, it takes a minute to unwind your and regulate your rhythm, your circadian rhythm, and know what you will tolerate, what you're not. So it takes a minute to really look into your inventory inside. You,
Yeah.
without mentor, without, you know, and life is still going, it's you do hard way, right? Is something obstacle comes, or just that uh, programming surfacing, and you're like, I realize this is not me. I don't
Right.
know servicing, it's not me, I never been like that, right? But you have to sit with it to in order to release it, you know. And with the empath, it's very seldom, very often, that we feel somebody else's too, you know, and we have to process that, you know. We don't know which is which. We're doing it. We just
Yeah.
do. We're just doing the work, and that's mine was like maybe delay in that because I'm constantly in collective.
Yeah.
You see, I have to come down to the individual and say, okay, I am now want to explore my universe. What is make me tick? What is make me, you know, to put an effort to go somewhere, you know, or do anything, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, you have to go through all this, you know, apathy, depression, you know, like a society, we're going through that, you know. And, you know, I always say never pin this on the character.
Mm.
And the reason is because um, we can process feelings we pick up. We pick up just from external, and maybe we're thinking it's up, you know.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The practice make it perfect, and the willingness to evolve and know yourself and know your gift. I
Mm.
know that it's so irritating when you don't know.
Yeah.
You're looking and you're looking, and you want to know what is me, what is my path, right? And it's much easier when you know, but it's not easy. You know, it's, you have to embrace a lot of new things. Can you hear me well?
Oh, yeah.
I think my microphone something.
Okay. Yeah. I can still hear you.
Yeah.
But yeah, and everybody did, especially before COVID. Everyone in the workforce, it was ridiculous. And then I think once people got that time in quarantine, it was funny because I had already been not in quarantine, but I had been in isolation just me and my kids for quite a while at this time. Hello, Cherry Price, 1977. But once people got into that isolation period, you started seeing them at first going crazy on TikTok and Instagram. You know, they're like wearing underwear and being weird, and the world had to go mad, had to go insane, then had to go within, and then had to see, oh my God, what have I been doing this whole life? And now there's kind of on the precipice where people are starting to balance out a little bit. And like Cheryl was saying, 2025 was all about ancestral healing. So
Mm.
it's all significant. Like you were saying, the alignment, finding your purpose, like, you know, not so much purpose, but your gifts, right? That's one thing that birth charts can help with. They can direct you in an area like, whoa, I've been doing this, but I've been missing out on all this over here. Now it integrates. So right here with your Saturn, you have Saturn retrograde in Taurus in the fifth house. Is that right? Let me look here. Oh yeah, yeah, you do. Do you have core issues with feeling worthy of joy, risks, and expressing your true self? Because, or do you have those?
To to find joy is
Yeah.
rather, yeah, yeah.
Are you having, you feel, you don't feel worthy of joy a lot? Is there
Uh,
like a,
no, it's not it. It's I think it's more like I constantly think about, it's like a workaholic mindset, but in
yeah,
spiritual sense.
okay.
And and the reason, because my instinctual mother instincts for the future generation, and I wanted to direct uh, future generation when they needed direction, correct kind of correction, but you have to do it very carefully, without overpowering or constructing something. Just if you see where you can, like, uh say, oh, okay, this way, would
Yeah,
be
course correction.
course correction. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was that's why all my first part of my life, it was not about me, it was all about family, my husband, and like family, to bring together, the music, of course, and all this, basically, if people realize that your kids are your version of self,
Yeah.
that's your lineage. The kids are the most important, and society wanted to separate family, parents from kids, and that's a lot of programming. Father, son, mother, daughter, right? These archetypes. So for me, um, we are as a host here and a base, and we put all our hearts and knowledge and compassion to the kids, and then we become student and the teacher at the same time, simultaneously. It's constantly, and only together with the young generation and the roots, the wisdom, we can bring this novelty into reality,
Yeah.
beautiful reality,
Well,
together.
like that's like it says here that to heal that feeling that we're not feeling worthy of joy, like what you were saying, make a small discipline with really short, realistic goals, right? So this will help your reward center in your brain. So whenever you don't feel worthy of joy, kind of want ask yourself, what is this area? Why am I not allowed to feel joy here? And then see some kind of discipline. Like if you discipline yourself to meditate at this specific time every day of the week, but just give it that little goal, right? If you can achieve that little goal, it's going to retrain your brain to feel joy.
Mhm.
But in because you're making small agreements with yourself, and the smaller the agreements, the better the goals, the better the feeling inside. And this will also help you in your romantic area. like let's say you and Sasha, right? Let's both agree to meditate this time every day, this exact time. So that's a discipline, right? I
Mm.
know that we live in a world where the shamans and mystics, we're not really attached to time. That's
Right.
why it's important to bring the discipline back in, because this will work really well with your Uranus, right? You have Saturn retro in Taurus, fifth house, trining, which means working well with, smoothly transitioning, means you can easily find sudden breakthroughs and personal identity shifts that align you towards freedom and adaptability, where your authentic joy comes from a unique sense of self worth. So, what that means in plainly English is those little steps that you make to making discipline and structure in your life. Study a book, talk about it publicly, make sure to dedicate this amount of time every day, is going to help not only your self-worth, your what do you call that, courage, and your compassion in your relationship and with all your public matters, just by integrating a little bit of structure.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So
Yes, and we do meditation together, gong meditation with Sasha. Usually every night around 7. Sometimes it's sporadically, but usually at night. You know, for that energy clear and space and and that electromagnetic harmony.
maybe you guys, like, you know how your intellect, your fortune in this reading so far was about bringing your knowledge to the public area. Maybe if you guys both studied at the same time, like whatever the topic, you want to study psychology,
Mhm.
you take classes together at community college, right? And that will bring the joy of your relationship deeper and deeper in a spiritual union as well.
Yes.
Hello, Brita O'Leary and Jane Dinsdale. Hi, people. Are you?
Welcome in.
I'm reading her birth chart right now. We're just going over it and talking about it. But yeah, I can't just do a bunch of birth charts on the fly. That's a lot of work goes into them.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate that opportunity, and really, really, you're the first one who
Yeah.
doing my chart. Yeah, I never had a chance before.
Good. I'm glad now. And then hopefully this brings a little bit of alignment into all areas of your life. Because I know when I got my birth chart read the first time I had a Western astrology reading done for me, and I kind of felt it, but it just didn't seem right.
Mm,
And I used to fight against people because all I knew was Western astrology, and I was too lazy to learn Vedic or Sidereal. So I would argue with people. I'm like, no, no, no. But Western wasn't right. And then when I got a Sidereal birth chart reading, I was like, oh, this is why. This is everything that I was fighting against. So
mm.
for you out there, if you have had a Western astrology reading, try getting a Sidereal or Vedic astrology reading. Yeah, and you can always get a hold of me at shamangraywolf.com. Send us a message and we will get back to you with information about birth chart readings, because a lot does go into them. I mean, I can do generic things on the fly, like, oh, your Saturn and Jupiter are right here and blah blah blah, but it's never going to be as deep as if you take the time to go through it. And I know this one took me a while since you won the raffle. There was just so much going on, and it really does. You have to have time to sit and quiet, read, pull out some charts, write things down, take notes, look at the alignments. Because even with I think it's one, two, three, four, five, six and a half pages.
Wow.
This is still only half of a birth chart reading.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Oh wow!
So what I did notice is, what were we just talking about? Your core issues of joy. of not feeling worthy of joy are because of a tension between your discipline and responsibility and focus.
Mm.
So that's why all of these aspects that lined up in your chart, they're really pointing to setting a structured, I know we don't live in the 9 to 5 world, but if we set ourselves a 9 to 5 structure, it's going to help with your emotional needs and values. Your mind in Aquarius in the second house affects your creativity, self worth, and sense of security. So, right now, you're struggling against setting a structured daily routine, right? You
Mm-hmm.
don't like that. This is the building block. Turn that blockade into a Lego instead and start building with it.
Mm-hmm.
I know you're fighting against it. You're like, are you kidding me? I don't want to be here on this time at that date. But if you do this, a lot of things will turn around within and with your relationship with Sasha, your children, your friends and community, all things, and will help your long term goals with your material success. Because what you've been doing up to this point is creating inner conflict, and that delays your progress. The only thing to actually help that, especially in the financial area, is it requires a disciplined effort to build inner self worth rather than external validation. Now, I know you personally, so this is reading your chart, and I know you're not very huge on external validation. But what that means is like, let's say you have an intuitive calling, right? Something intuitively comes to you, but you won't speak about it until someone else says it first, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of the external validation. You want to be able to go, no, I got this channel download, like this is my voice. And then let others say, yeah, I was thinking the same thing. So that's the only thing that I would see a little bit different in your chart. You're not very big on external validation, but
And
creating,
it's true. Actually, and especially, we were recording with kids in the studio, and as a witnessing, and I'm all about quality and energy, so it's all aligned. So I did speak up when I didn't like the recording, and but it got validated when the second person got speaked up about the same issue, and but I do speak. It's just I don't want to be too harsh or critical. You know what I mean? So people know where I'm coming from. I am coming from the quality of the intention, rather than to say, oh, hurt somebody's feeling. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So diplomatic. Yes.
that goes back to your feelings of being misunderstood when you do
Hmm.
speak.
Yeah.
So remember, you know what? If they don't understand you, they're not meant to.
Hmm.
When you share your knowledge, because you have your whole chart just points to knowledge and intelligence. You're someone who you want to study, you want to research, you want to talk about what you learned. You don't want anybody to make you feel misunderstood. And these things, overturning these, it's just going to open up. And you're right, like with magic, money will start falling out of the sky,
Hmm.
metaphorically. But that just basically is one of your blocks. Your second block coming over here is it's going to your relationship area. So
Hmm.
Saturn retro squared Venus in Leo, eighth house, shows tension between your need for passionate, dramatic expressions in love. So you really want a dramatic romance novel type of love and romance, right?
Old fashioned, baby.
But but you have this emotional restriction and distance. So you want the dramatics from a relationship, but you're really standoffish in these relationships because you have up to this point in your life, right? So it doesn't bind you to any contract, but up to this point in your life, you've looked at intimacy as more of a duty based reality, right? Like this is
Different.
my,
Yeah. Mm.
yeah,
It's a lot of. I realized it later on. I didn't know before, but yeah, uh, it's interesting. As much as I like to be deep, and that I guess it's coming from um, deeper things in life or past lives. I'm not sure, but
yeah, could come from the past life.
the intimacy, the although I have no problem with vulnerability, you know.
Yeah.
So it,
Well, like I said, it's just an innate thing. Sometimes they're unconscious things that we're born with. Like it could very well possibly be from your past life. Chiron retro in Ravati Nakshatra and South Node in Punarvasu. It could show like you, and that's a horrible way to feel. Like it's your duty to do these intimate things with your partners. So it does say here, learn how to be more sincere and vulnerable rather than guarded, right? So start opening up about your fear. Here's where we get to it. This was all based off of your fear of loss and trust issues. You desire deep emotional connections, requires conscious effort and patience to integrate the lessons of accountability. So you're afraid of losing things in your life, right? And you're afraid that the other partner is not going to be accountable for mistakes. So this gives you a big blockade where you're like, no, you're putting up a, wow, I felt a lot of energy come out of that hand when I did that. So it must be hitting a nail on the head. What are you afraid of losing?
me,
Afraid of losing yourself?
yeah,
Yeah. And how could your partner Sasha hold himself accountable to help you with that trust issue?
with consistency,
Consistency?
loyalty, yeah, and being there, for me, and supportive, and you know,
Yeah.
consistency. Yeah, consistency, loyalty, and all focused on me, and it's a little too much sometimes. However, um, yeah,
Do you
he's
ever have
yeah.
you ever had these talks with him?
Mm, no,
No?
not really.
There's some dialogue to open up there.
Not really. We didn't have time, and because every one of us are going through their own wounds, and I believe that the couple should have space to heal their childhood wounds, because when you jump in a relationship without being ready, like, it's not like we were not ready. It's just we didn't know a lot about anything,
Yeah.
and we just I guess we um, felt that magnetic pull beyond this physical form, and that trust, and that we know each other since 10 years old, been best friends, right? So we had a base relationship, and but we start exploring this love thing, is the way we know, right? And what people do, they respond from the wounds first, right? Wound bonded relationship. Then, you know we had to go through 10 different phases of molding, and finally I can say right now that I accepting the way he is and the way I am. We are opposite polarity. We don't have the a lot of this. We have a lot of the same, but at the same time we're different
Yeah.
because we have different needs. When I was sociable, Sasha, I understood he needs to be alone to realign his, because he's sensitive, hypersensitive.
Yeah.
I know that before. So, couple needs to go through 10 different phases of molding to really integrate and inner state. And now it's like you accept the way it is and you don't take that something negative.
Yeah.
Everyone has their own circadian rhythm. Everyone has their own data and wounds to work with, and that's the art of relationship, when you can walk your path without uh, without needed somebody else to walk your path. you
Yeah.
know, you can walk beside that and being different and being okay with it, because we all adding to the collective, we're all adding the puzzle, right? and
Yeah.
and so, but me and Sasha, we're very adding to each other in, and that's why I love to connect in co-creation, any kind of project, creating, kids, co-creation, anything, uh,
Right.
excellent partner in that, and all that. So maybe next chapter will be diving into the two of us, because when you have family now, is kids are bigger, so we have more time to ourselves.
Yeah.
um
Especially now, like a lot of your chart says that after the 30s, your life begins to get a lot more clearer, a lot more easier to understand, more closer. So this is, and it is the times like when your children grow up and you're in a relationship, that's the number one cause of either separation or deeper bond.
hmm
So people really find out what they're made of when their children evolve and move on. Because then it's both, we're looking at each other, we're like, hey, this is life. What are we doing? Yeah.
exactly. I said to myself, okay, because as a mother, we feeling when the kids are it's called living, right? And we cannot be too much attached to it, because this is life, and this is very natural. So I asked myself, what did I do before I had kids?
Yeah.
And then I said, oh, I did ice bucket challenge. I was I still in, but I was more in the health and manifestation kind of flow state. So I immediately went back and did the ice challenge, and then was like, "Oh my god, this is completely brings me to whole another area of." I forgot about it, and now I remember this
Right.
fraction, this small fraction of me, which can lead to, full picture eventually, as I explore and continue that. Uh, Basically, my mission is to just share, and for well-being of all. If it's
Yeah.
not good for one, it's not good for anyone.
Exactly. Right.
And
I wonder, is Sasha's a Virgo, right?
yes, he is.
So that's your ninth house. This is where you get your highest lessons in life. You would really do great with, again, another pointing towards discipline and detailed oriented approach.
Mm.
So here again in your ninth house, Sasha could be the key to helping you understand a little more discipline in your life, finding new beliefs. I know you're really good at that already.
Mm.
But like, let's say just off the fly, you want to study Buddhism all of a sudden, right? Make that again. Everything in your chart is pointing to make that your structured integrity. Then learn how to talk to others about the practicality. Like, we have all these really large spiritual words and concepts and philosophy, but what does that do for the common man? So I wonder if your Mars is in Virgo, ninth house. So that's the masculine energy. And Sasha, being the Virgo, does say that you guys are fated to probably soulmates. You know what I mean? You've been together forever, you've known each other forever. So all that's actually missing in this is you guys participating together to try to figure things out that you can explain to people who are not in a spiritual community. You take all of your knowledge and understanding, and then rather than focus on targeting only people in tribe or the
Right.
spiritual community, go out and the people on Fremont Street, or I don't know, an example,
You-
any normal, huh?
YouTube. YouTube.
YouTube to the common person. So if you can bring all of these hyper spiritual understandings in a basic terminology and deliver it to YouTube, both of you guys, everything is pointing to it in your whole birth chart. Otherwise, all you're doing is really draining your energy
Mm,
because you're not feeding your mind.
mm,
So
mm.
you might want to go. So it's like the same old story. You're telling, let's say, you're teaching Buddhism to Buddha, right? That's
Right.
going to be draining to you because Buddha's going to be standing there like Buddha would listen, because Buddha's compassionate, but you're really not getting anywhere because Buddha wrote the Buddhism. So your highest lesson in life is to learn to target a different audience, go towards people that don't know what you're talking about. This way you can, and they're a little interest, like especially the freshly awoken, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's why I stay off of Facebook, because the freshly awoken is just so much. And they're and you're like, oh no, I don't want to do this all day, but
It's called the unicorn liquors, right?
is that what it's called? I don't know, man. All I know is I'm like, oh man, was I like that? Oh my god, I was.
When you awaken, everything is like Alice in the Wonder World. We're like, wow, wow, wow.
Right?
And then when it's the um, comes Dark Night of the Soul,
Yeah,
Dark Senses, that was huge for me. Dark Night of the Ego,
yeah,
all this spiritual bypass comes on service, and whoo, baby, not
right.
not comfortable,
Yeah,
super super uncomfortable and ugly. However, it makes you to realize we are totality. What Shadow wants is love.
yeah.
Who does not want love? Everybody
Right.
love,
It is the one constant in the universe.
right? Love and care, genuine care, and we have that in our hearts. We do, because it's magnetic vortice. That's the vortice we are ascending. That's
Yeah.
our heart. Green light.
And the opposite of love is like fear and hatred, right? And war, right? But just in that saying, you understand that people who are operating in fear, anger, and hostility, they're just lacking love. They may have this macho ego, roar, right? But that's the bear is only roaring because it's never been cuddled.
So cute. The thing is, the hate is opposite of love, and
Yeah,
it's because of belief that love is something transactional somebody has to give you. No,
right. No.
love is cultivated as we go, as we co-create, right there, right then, between two people or three or four. So love is something you do with another being, and it's creating, giving you joy. This is love,
Yeah.
you see, and it comes out from your heart space.
Uh,
It's the infinite fountain, and if something happens in your life tragic, it's another opportunity for you to open your heart and love
right.
this, and love that and really works. And then at the point where you just, not so much, you understand that neutral way is better, right? For your
Yeah.
hormones, for your nervous system. It's, my mom always to say, oh, Valentina, don't be so exciting. And I'm like, always like, oh, why are you killing my joy, right?
Yeah.
And now I understand, because as exciting you are, right, as you can be sad, so you don't need this amplitude of jumping feelings and nervous system. You want to be neutral. Okay, something happened, yeah, thank you, I'm grateful, let's move on,
Right.
not too much attached to, like you said, validation of external, right?
Yeah.
And not acting out of our wounds, acting as a current present moment.
Yeah. Because you get the dopamine loss. Like dopamine, if you're always dopamine high and you don't get the validation once, you go immediately to crash and burn.
Burnout, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And so that's, I guess, when you get older, you become wise, and you're like, okay, everything is, and same as chaos. If you're going through chaos, that's the best thing to do, is to be, sit in this, understand, process. Don't run away, because it's gonna chase you all your life
Oh
and
yeah.
face it. I want to share this amazing moment I had in the desert. One of the drum circles. It was a wedding of Joe and Jennifer on the
Okay.
desert, and so we were all on break the cars, and it was one of those hurricanes, sent tornadoes, like small ones.
Yeah.
So we were standing in the back of our car, me and Sasha, kids in the car. I was looking at him. I think we were grabbing something to eat. And he goes, and I see he looking somewhere. I turn around and I see this tornado going right at me. I have no chance to even say something, like it was. So I remember my demeanor, right? I looked at, and it goes right at me, and I said, "Oh, fuck it." I did it like this. I'm like, whatever. I accepted it. And
Yeah.
that very moment when I did that, this tornado all of a sudden pivot 180, goes all the way across the circle, across the bonfire, and jumped on the hood of somebody's truck, and like poof. And for witness that, a lot of people witnessed that,
Yeah.
and I felt like it hit my aura, and it went another way. It's like, like you're going, and then you see who it is, and like, oh no, and I'm going different direction. That's
Right.
how I was like, wow. I was like, what the, what is that?
That's because your presence, once you accept it, there's no more. It's like the tornado, if it were, let's say, a character, it was coming to scare you, and then it realized you weren't scared, and it's like, all right, well, that is how it is. When you just accept the chaos, it filters out and it goes away.
Yeah, yeah,
So here we go again in your ninth house with Pluto in your ninth house. And it's squaring Jupiter in Sagittarius in your 12th house. We already have been going over you have a quest for truth and higher knowledge to fulfill your meaning in life. So this means like feeding your mind all of these intelligences is really opening up or filling up a hole that you had throughout your life that you didn't know what the meaning was. So take this powerful research and detailed studies, and especially in health, and constantly question your beliefs. You might even want to travel more often because this is how you're going to reveal patterns by observing changes in human behavior in different areas. Like, sociology will talk about this too. People in Las Vegas, we walk, talk, and act different than people in Los Angeles, right?
Mm-hmm.
Completely different language, but we have the same dynamics. Dynamics are like the changes in behaviors, the pattern recognition. A lot of, if you were to study astrology just off of knowing the planets and how they move, you can step back where if you don't know astrology, everything's happening to you.
Mm.
You're like, oh my God, this is, ah. But when you know astrology and you follow it day to day, you understand that you're co-creating with this. So nothing is happening to you. And you get to just step back when things are going wonky, and then step right in when they need the medicine, and then step right back out when they're wonky. It's something that would really help you out.
Mm.
Observing patterns in other people is your focus that will help your analytical mind. So do you ever have your mind trying to figure things out even when you're trying to go to sleep?
Yeah, yeah, especially lately, and I usually empty, I usually not in my mind, but lately it's like constantly, and it takes my rituals, takes my to be grounded, and to get grounded, to be more in the heart and feel. But because of the structure, you see, and I slow down enough so now I can add to my day the structure, right? So I gotta detach from old, unwind to the point where I can be in pajama pants all day, and now I'm ready to spinning a little bit fast, not faster, but a little bit more direct my energy in and set in that construct according my circadian rhythm. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you're getting to a point. It does take that too. You do have to come down to a full stop
Mm-hmm.
and completely wipe your schedule. And then, like the practices in Thelema, to learn how to direct your will. Once you learn how to direct your will and you put structure towards that, you might even I don't have the book no more. I gave it to somebody else. You might even want to study Thelema. Thelema is a thing that Aleister Crowley made up. And it's interesting. It's a good practice. It helps you learn how to channel your energy in
Mm.
the proper directions that will actually benefit your life instead of, oh, we're going to,
Flow, yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
I never heard of it. What is it? Dilemma?
Th-
What?
Thelema. It's thelema. It's a magical practice, but basically it's rituals and routine to help you learn. Have you heard the term loosh?
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
it's to help you direct your loosh so that people don't take it. Because every time, like, if you want something, you have to be able to channel all your energy in that direction.
Mm-hmm.
And then you don't want other people to come and interrupt that, which they do. As soon as you start beaming your line in this direction, it's like a universal thing. They come in to try to unconsciously, they're there to sabotage that beam. And
Mm-hmm.
it's up to you to learn how to, no, you can try all you want. My beam is strong.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
it's a good practice. It's fun. It's magical practices. Aleister Crowley was a really eccentric type of a person, so it's kind of fun. But and the groups, there's you meet up with other people who practice dilemma. It's pretty interesting.
Mm.
Yeah.
I
But
like it for sure.
so again, we go back to your another block in your life.
Mm-hmm.
This is something that you can turn into a building block rather than a blockade in your life. Is your internal struggle between a need for detailed truth and meaning and hidden faith, meaning you have tension on your spirit quest because you must recognize your subconscious patterns and find practical wisdom from the unseen realms. You have faith, but you want proof.
Mm.
So this is another thing you can turn. This is really easy to turn into a building block rather than a block. You have this unrenowned faith and belief in the unseen worlds, right? But the sour taste in your mouth, the sour taste in your mouth is that you don't have no way to prove it. So finding your way to prove what you can see in the unconscious is going to help, not for others, it's going to help your validation. Like, ha, I showed you. You know? So things that you can do to work with that would be like paranormal investigation, ghost hunting. If
Mm-hmm.
you can bring proof of a voice from the other side or an apparition, a shadow, things like that can help stimulate that. So to turn that block into creation, find a way to integrate bringing the unseen world to the visible world. And then the direction you should take in this lifetime is integrating freedom and higher purpose with the mystical blend. Again, here we go with this. Your entire chart is for you to integrate all of your beliefs and all of your understanding of freedoms to teach others in practical ways.
Yes.
So, studying things like compassion and philosophy, and then teach what you learn to a collective, YouTube or Facebook or
Yeah.
Instagram, and this will be your spiritual service. So now that you know what your spiritual service is, let's say you believe the name is God, right? And let's say God has been waiting for you to come into service, right? Well,
Yes.
now you know this is your service. It's not just an ego thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just to fit in anywhere else. And it's not just to make money. This is what God wants you to do for him or her or it. I like to say all because you can't put a name on God in my understanding because it's too much to explain. So now, once you start doing that as your spiritual service, what do you think's going to happen? Does God not bless those who do service?
No, of course. Of course.
Yeah. So
God.
now, with all of this from your chart, you understand you have more confidence to step forward. You might want to, if you're having concerns, say you're questioning, what am I going to talk about? We can talk back and forth. I can suggest a few things. I would start with Buddhism or whatever you want to dive deep into. Just start doing it and
Mm.
putting it out there. Take some college courses. Notice this as your spiritual service. This way, you don't have to do like we were talking about when you facilitate. It takes an entire week because you've got 3 days of prep and then you have to have 3 days of detox. So, what does that give you for a life, really? That's really a draining life. But when you do your service, are you still there? Or did you go? Oh, you froze. Uh oh. Are you still there? Okay, guys. Well, I think she froze. Um, Once she fulfills her spiritual service, it's like the floodgate to abundance and happiness, inner fulfillment. Those pieces that are missing from inside of you come together and you become whole and complete. So that was really what she needed to learn from her past life and internal self. She's a natural writer. She's a natural communicator. She loves to learn and multitasks. Her strong suits are that she's adaptable and has a tendency to overanalyze situations, but that's actually a good thing. All she needs to do is stay away from connections that are shallow based. Hey,
My battery died. Oh my god.
okay, well, yeah, I was just doing the wrap up, anyways. So
Sorry about that.
that's all right. You're
I was
good.
like, no.
You're good. So we were going over your past life, right? And this life's mission, what you're learning here, right? And from a past life, this is where you were really good at, and this is why it's all this information is going to help you in this life. You're understanding that your internal self is natural writer. Okay, so you're going to write stories or write philosophies about your beliefs. You're great at communicating. You're a natural learner and you multitask very well.
Mm.
Your strong suits are that you are adaptable, but you have a tendency to overanalyze situations, which is actually kind of good because it helps you stay away from shallow connections.
Mm.
Okay, so focus more on meaningful work rather than just, what comes to you, and use your mind. Take up a study that invests in yourself. So your whole entire chart is just leading you to further your education and communicate it. And that is your spiritual service. And that's what God will do to bless you for doing your part.
Mm. Wow. That's super. It's so, so on point with
Yeah.
everything, you know. Uh, and more than something, you know, I've been keeping a secret.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Secrets do kind of come out. And mind you, this is only half of birth chart. So I didn't go into super depth
Mhm.
because
Mhm.
we are doing it live. So I didn't want to,
Yes.
we
I
don't dive into the drawers.
Yes, it's I really love the way you explain. It's very very understandable. Not like, astrology would come and like just tell you on their language and you're like, what?
Right?
Very grounded, yeah, very grounded way. I really enjoyed. I really enjoy and everything on point. And I'm gonna look through more and more and work on my hidden sites what I need. But you absolutely correct on that. I have this the inner conflict in around this feeding my mind because it was the point where I wasn't interested in anything and it killed me. Like because when I learning and when I investigating or researching, I feel evolving,
You
right?
feel alive, right?
Yeah, and I had a goal and I had a discipline, and I don't need to put myself in discipline because I want to know. So I was like, you know, I want
Yeah.
to understand how's it work, why is that, but it's just not a lot of topics. It inspires me,
Okay.
as we know, a lot of fictions out there, and you are looking for that liveness, that authenticity, the truth, and how we embody and how does it reflect our life,
Yeah.
and
And once you do find the right thing that does spark your interest, the discipline becomes joy.
yeah.
Like the same, like everybody asked me when I first started journaling in the mornings, right? And doing my astrology in the morning. They're like, why are you doing that? Isn't that a pain? And I'm like, no, this is actually my peace. I find peace right here and it fills me with joy for my day.
Mm.
So once you do find that inner peace that feeds your knowledge, you're gonna just take flight.
Yes, yes, thank you. And you're helping me a lot with it. It was, I was waiting for, I'm like, I have so many plans, but I'm gonna wait for my chart because, you want a confirmation. And, it's funny. Like sometimes we have this subliminal, like, uh, you don't have to ask permission, from anyone to move, but we are been trained to, be
Yeah.
polite and,
To raise your hand.
raise your hand, right? So, so we have to learn being a captain in
Yeah.
our own life. And that's hard because it's unfamiliar and it comes with a lot of responsibility, which who wants responsibilities, right?
Right.
But when your life transform and those responsibility like your first nature, so it's a common sense, it's common law, right? Become so it's a law of comprehension, a law of receptivity and all it's all natural. So it's really nothing scary. It's just sometimes Libra indecisive, and I didn't know that because I always in my life knew what I wanted.
Yeah.
I
That's
felt.
because you're more identified as a Capricorn.
Mm,
Libra is your 10th house, which is kind of more social life. So
mm.
that whole knowing what you want, that's the Capricorn in you.
So I need to learn about Capricorn more,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Than Libra. I see. I see. I felt like I'm not regular Libra,
Well, oh, 11111 across the screen. It was 11111 when you said
Yee,
that. So
really?
yeah, yeah,
Four,
embody
five.
your Capricorn self.
Wow. That's the secret. I have to dive in. Capricorn.
Yeah.
What month is that? Capricorn?
What?
Capricorn? What is the month of
Um,
that?
hang on, I don't remember offhand. Mm,
Isn't it April?
no, it's oh, what am I thinking? December 22nd to January
Oh,
20th.
wow.
Yeah. I'm sitting here. See, I lose track of things too. I'm like, wait a minute, what is Capricorn? But also because Sidereal Capricorn is a little different, and I still don't have those like on the fly. But solstice, Capricorn starts at the winter solstice, which is the 22nd.
21st. Well, it's
No.
three. It's usually, isn't it? I thought 21st is always solstice.
So always remember it like this. Christmas is the 25th, right?
Yes.
And that's because that's the day that Jesus was born or Jesus rose from the dead, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Jesus is the sun. That's all it is. It's astrology. Jesus is the sun.
Mm-hmm.
So he died on the 22nd. Then
Mm-hmm.
he was in the underworld for 3 days, 23rd, 24th, 25th, and he rose again. What
Mm-hmm.
they're talking about is the sun on the horizon, okay? So the sun elevates all the time on the horizon except for the 22nd. Then on the 22nd, the sun stays at this level for 3 days and then starts to rise again.
Ah, I see. Wow.
Yeah,
Resurrection.
yeah,
Feel it.
resurrection.
I feel like that. Resurrection, yeah. Wow.
Awesome. Well,
Well,
all right, I'll let you go so you can charge your phone up, and I'm gonna go get some dinner.
wonderful, wonderful, Johnny. Unbelievable. Thank you very much. And looking forward to more our talks on online and um, more communication in
All
that
right,
area. And yeah, and thank you so much. You're doing such a great job.
thank you,
And,
thank you.
and it's not only the knowledge, which very on point and different from other channels out there, very very on point. It's also your voice and your presence and your peace within. It's soothing. It's really soothing, and it's healing already to
Oh,
hear your calm voice.
well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Mm.
All right, guys. Well,
Thank you,
thank you.
everyone. Yes.
Yeah, thanks everyone in chat and hello. I don't think there was any questions. No questions in chat, but awesome. All right,
Yes.
guys. Well, thank you very much and enjoy your day. I'll
Thank
get
you.
this chart to you soon.
Awesome. Yes, I would love that.
All right.
Peace,
All right.
John.
Talk to you
Thank you.
later. You're
Namaste.
welcome. Namaste. Bye bye.
Bye bye.